So this last year, my family and I have started implementing the rhythm of sort of having a family memory verse. And I would like to say it changes every month, but I'm not on top of it enough to do that. But for the last few months, we were working on a verse in Isaiah, and we've now just started on the fruits of the Spirit. The reason why this actually began was because I found myself saying in the car as my kids were fighting with each other, can we just try harder to be kinder to one another? And I found myself realizing in that moment that I was actually teaching them terrible theology. Because when I think about the fruits of the Spirit, I think about a couple of things that I want us to unpack here. Galatians 5 says this, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. See, what's interesting, two things I notice about this is that it says the fruit of the Spirit is, which if you're any kind of grammar nerd like me, you're like, shouldn't it be the fruit of the Spirit are? He's about to go into a long list. But it's really this singular thing that when the Spirit of God is at work in our lives, these are the things that show up. And what I noticed about that is that even in the light of this passage, this whole passage in Galatians, and really the whole book of Galatians, is Paul going after them saying, you're trying to go back to the law. You're trying to go back to proving yourself. You're doing this Jesus and theology. When really, and especially in Galatians 5, he's like, actually, following Jesus leads to freedom. And I hadn't really thought about the fruit of the Spirit actually being freedom in our lives. See, I think sometimes when we think of these qualities, when we think of these fruits, we think, try really hard to be kind, try really hard to be patient, when really what he's saying here is, would we have freedom to recognize that it's him who produces the fruit in us? Not that we can't pay attention to the ways that he's working. It doesn't mean that it doesn't require any effort on our end to pay attention to the Spirit's movements, as it talks about to keep in step with the Spirit right after. But I wonder, have you thought about the fact that fruit is freedom? That have you maybe caught yourself feeling like you're in sort of some sort of hamster wheel about trying harder to do all of the things and trying hard to be Christ-like, instead of allowing the Spirit to do what only he can do, as he sanctifies us and makes us more like him. And so as you think about, maybe would you meditate on the fruit of the Spirit today? Would you pay attention to the opportunities to demonstrate the fruit of the Spirit? But would you lean back and trust and rest in the only one who actually can produce the fruit, which is the Spirit himself?